Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out IGDM for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA. What's good, guys? For this video, we're going to be going over the 4-2-2, and to be completely straight up, the 4-2-2 is my favorite formation. It comes with the best custom tactics in the game, in my opinion, and it's really important that I say my opinion because for somebody else it might be the 4-3-2-1 or the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-3-1, but for me personally, I find the 4-2-2 to be the best, especially amongst custom tactics that I've created on this channel. I believe the 4-2-2, dating all the way back to when I began making my first custom tactics in this game, the 4-2-2 was probably the most successful custom tactic I've released. So we're going to be going with that similar infrastructure that's, worked in the past and, continue onwards with that. But it's a really good formation. Really quick, we're going to talk about our squad that we're going to be using for the 4-2-2. And there's only two notable mentions that I want to mention. One of which being a little bit irrelevant, but if you guys are interested in a new center back, that isn't Bisek or whatever, I've been working on this Evo. Zaid Romero, I believe is his name. This is the one that you put that latest radioactive Evo. I don't know what it was called, but it was the one that, gives aerial plus and bruiser plus. Because as you can see right now, he already has 96 pace, but he's gonna get aerial plus as well as being 6'4". So this is literally just, Bisek, but in my opinion, even better because he's gonna be way faster with that 96 pace. And I was using this guy in champs, in elite, and in my qualifications. Even at 82 rated, this guy was still really good. There's something with just being super tall that accelerates and improves all of your animations in this game. It's really OP, to be honest. And then once we add that bruiser plus and that aerial plus, he's just gonna get way better. Another thing to mention is for this custom tactic, I think it's really important that you have two strikers, one of which being, the big man in Holland. You don't have to use Holland, you can use Weghorst, you can use Joselu. Really just anyone that's tall, strong, lengthy basically. And then a shorter, more technical player. They don't have to be shorter, but you want someone that's more technical, more smoother with the dribbling. Dybala's perfect, but you can even use Griezmann, for example, or Messi, or really just anyone that you could trust with the ball at their feet. But the rest we'll mention as we go through the custom tactics. As for that, I do have it set to my attacking. We're using balanced defensive style as we've done all FIFA. We're doing 50 width and 60 depth. Now I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I found 50 to still work really well, specifically because I was having an issue where I was playing against a lot of people that were going from touchline to touchline, switching the ball over and over again. So we use 50 not to necessarily prevent that, but in the case that does occur, we have a wide player that's, the distance that they have to run is way shorter, so they have a better chance at winning the ball, or just forcing the other player to reconsider what they're doing. We didn't want to turn it up any higher because we don't want to risk space in the middle opening up. And with 50, there's not necessarily a huge risk of, space in the middle opening up too much. But, as for these defensive styles and custom tactics, they're completely self-preference. You can change these up to whatever you're comfortable with. So if, let's say 50 didn't work out for you, you can easily drop this down or even increase it. It's all up to you. It doesn't break the formation by all means. As for depth, I'm using 60 because I chose for myself that I think 60 was good. And the reason why I do that is because I'm more comfortable manual defending, if that makes sense. And 60 allows my AI to basically back off a little bit and let me do the work, especially the center backs and things like that. Now, I've mentioned before my opinions about 100 depth, and to keep it really short, it's not something that I would recommend for, a whole weekend league session, but I'm assuming you guys have tried it already, maybe from other custom tactic videos or something like that, and it's something that worked out for you and you found that on average it helped you improve at the game, then absolutely you can change this to up to 100 if you really wanted. But for me, that's not what I want to do. You don't have to change it to 100. You can change this back to 71. You can change this to 65. It's all up to your self-preference. But for me, I said 60 because I want to control my defenders better. I don't want the AI. I don't want to be dependent on the AI too much. It gives me more control defensively. So it's up to you, basically. Build up, play. I can't even talk. Excuse me. Build up, play, balance, chance creation, direct passing. Always on the 4-2-2. This is perfect. Because of the lack of traditional wingers, you're going to be seeing the cams and their corresponding AI. That's why you're going to want direct passing. To keep it short, that's just what enables their AI to be significantly better in terms of passing and, movement. 36 depth, primarily because the issue with the cams in this formation is that they will go into a lot of open space. And that's nice and all. However, we want them to make runs into open space that are within the box, if that makes sense. So we don't want them to be running towards, the corner or something like that, because, there's not much to take advantage from in that position. So with 36 width, this isn't necessarily forcing them to play very narrow. However, it's forcing them to only consider runs into a narrow position, if that makes sense. That way, they can make runs that attack the other team's goal. 6 players in the box, because I do that in every single custom tactic for the most part. And then corners and free kicks are completely self-explanatory and self-preference. Before we go ahead and talk about player instructions, real quick, I just wanted to mention that the ratio of subscribed people viewing is pretty interesting, as you can see right here. So if you guys like these custom tactics that I'm creating and you want to stay more up to date with meta custom tactics to help you improve at the game, go ahead and subscribe. Additionally, my Discord server is closing in on 2,000 members, which is pretty impressive because I created it not too long ago, to be honest. We have a lot of great discussion regarding, tactics, squad building, or if you just want to share your pack pools or something like that, you can do that in our Discord with the link in the description. But yeah, going straight to player instructions, you're going to see there are 2 strikers up front. The left striker, we're going to deliberate as the big man striker that I was talking about. And he's going to be on balance with getting behind, stay forward. And basically what this does is that on the counterattack, this player is going to be the player that you can trust to just get the ball to and progress the ball forward as quickly as you can. So what this means basically is if you can get the ball, especially on that left hand side, with that left winger in specific, you can trust that player very consistently to receive a through ball. That's why it's really important to have a player on lengthy, because players on lengthy, especially if they have rapid plus, they're going to be perfect for through balls. So that's what gives this custom tactic a really good advantage for the counterattacks, because not only just that, he's winning you a lot of space to begin with in the build-up, because even if you don't pass to this player right here, he's going to push the other team's defensive line back, which allows you to, which as you'll see in a moment, it allowed the other striker to have space for themselves to roam around and receive the ball to their feet. And as we mentioned him, we're going to go straight to him, stay central, and that's it on this player right here. And the reason why it's important we have him on stay central is because as our left striker is pushing the other team's defense forward, since he's obviously in a central position, he's going to be able to receive the ball to his feet with a lot of space. Now this player is still going to make runs sometimes, especially if the ball's on the right hand side of the field, but for the most part, when the player on the left, the striker, makes that run in behind it, this player right here is going to force himself to, try to receive the ball to his feet, be open to receive a pass. That's why we don't have this player on stay forward, because we want him to basically be ready to, have the ball on their feet, ready to take a dribble or something like that. And then your 2 cams, we'll call them wingers for the sake of convenience, come back on defense, get into the box or cross. The comeback on defense part is crucial for just the sake of retaining the 4-4-2 defensive structure, and getting to the box or cross is pretty self-explanatory, because all we're doing that for is enabling this player to enter the box when that's relevant and presenting themselves for a goal scoring opportunity. It also gives them some good AI movement as well. And then your double pivot midfield, this is like my signature thing. I love doing this when I have 2 CDMs or 2 center mids. One of them is going to be on cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, cover center, and the other one's going to be on balance defense, balance attack, cover center. Now obviously the cut passing lanes player, this is going to be your basically like the anchor. His job is to basically just follow the other team's striker and make sure that they're not in a position to receive the ball easily. That's why we have him on cut passing lanes. And if you also put yourself in a situation where your center backs are out of position, because of that, this player is going to tuck in behind and act as a center back. So it's really important you have a player here with really good defensive stats, but it's also really important that you have a player that is really good with the ball at their feet and really good with dribbling as well, so they're not clunky. And then your right CDM or center mid, like I said, balance defense, balance attack, cover center. If you can get a player here with relentless plus, that's going to be really good, because this player is going to be the box-to-box midfielder, obviously. And we don't have this player on cut passing lanes either, because we want this player to basically be the player that is giving the other team pressure. So think of someone like, I don't know, like Kante or something, because obviously Kante in his prime was not a CDM. You just want a player that has a lot of energy here, that is really good around the field, because once you progress the ball forward, you're going to need someone with really good stats in terms of attacking, but you're also going to need someone that's really good in defense as well. Your 2 center backs obviously are going to be on default. As for fullbacks, however, now me personally, I have my left back at balance attack overlap. However, I would highly recommend you guys start off with having them both on stay back while attacking. And then if you can have them on stay back while attacking, it's important that you both have them on mix attack default. And the reason why I say that is because this custom tactic does not rely on its fullbacks to attack. Now let's take for example the 4-3-2 one. That one is a great formation for attacking fullbacks. However, this formation does not need an attacking fullback. Now, I have an attacking fullback because I'm so used to it and because I want to use crosses whenever it's possible, because that's unfortunately the meta of the game. However, that's not what you do. If you don't see a purpose for yourself to have an attacking fullback, I highly recommend you have this player on stay back while attacking and then default run type. So it basically does the same exact thing as your right back. That way you're completely safe on the counterattack. But yeah, that's a self-preference portion about it. And then your keeper, balance on everything, because I don't think this even changes anything when it comes to the keepers, to be honest. As I said earlier, these custom tactics are basically following the custom tactics that I've released that have had the best reception. I would argue that my 4-2-2 has been like the most popular custom tactic out of any other custom tactic that I've released. And as I said, it's probably my favorite custom tactic for this year specifically. I've had better success with this 4-2-2 than I've had with the 4-3-2-1 and things like that. Can I say it's the best custom tactic in the game or the best formation in the game? I can't, primarily because, you know, I've had people that said maybe my 4-4-1-1 would be really good or my 4-3-2-1 was really good. So the reality is it's completely self-preference, because what works for you is not going to work for somebody else. It's a matter of, you know, finding something that you're comfortable with. And the reality is, I believe the 4-3-2-1 is the formation that everyone, or as the most people possible, is comfortable with. But I've met a lot of people that do not like the 4-3-2-1 on any point. And I get that, because, you know, everyone has their own preferences. Like me, for example, the 4-3-3-5 is still one of my favorite formations in the game, but most people don't even like it, surprisingly. And that's okay, because like I said, it's all preference. But to be completely honest, I'm starting to feel like gameplay this year is getting really cooked at this point. It's getting really tedious making these custom tactics, primarily because the need for good AI is starting to decrease. Everyone's starting to, you know, play non-authentic, if that makes sense. I feel like with the increase of these latest players, for instance, the game's starting to lose a lot of its touch that it had previously, especially at the start of the year. And in my honest opinion, the game, the AI, everything was way better at the start of the year. There was a lot more room for, you know, good gameplay. Even when things were obnoxious, even when we had that annoying 71 depth thing and, you know, the issue with build-up where no one was open, I found that to be even better than what we have right now, where everyone's basically just abusing aerial plus, whip pass plus, because there's no authenticity in that. There's nothing that you can even enjoy with that. What's the point in releasing good custom tactics if good custom tactics aren't going to win you games, if you get what I'm saying? Now I could be creating tutorials on, you know, how to abuse whip pass plus and aerial plus, but that's not even something that I do. I don't get enjoyment out of it. When I'm playing, I might have Holland in my team. That's not what I'm trying to do. It doesn't feel fun abusing glitchy mechanics for the sake of winning, because at that point you're not playing to have fun, you're playing to win. And I get playing to win, but if you're winning without having fun, then the novelty of winning wears off really fast. So I will at some point consider taking a break from FIFA content to begin with until FC25 at least. Maybe not now. I'll consider making a couple more custom tactics, but for the sake of making sure that my custom tactics actually help you get better at the game, which won't be possible in a game where, you know, the difference isn't good custom tactics anymore, it might be a good idea to take a break and wait for FC25 and then, you know, starting over again. But we're here for the time being, and we're going to enjoy the ride while we can, because at the end of the day, we're all FIFA addicts. So if you haven't already, go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, do what you need to do. But for today's video, that's all.